Hey, welcome back to Coffee with Composers. My name is Joe Chris, and you're having a cup with Joe today. I have more interviews in the pipeline, just gotta finish getting them out, and we will continue those hopefully soon. But today, let's talk about AI. Let's talk about Berklee. Let's talk about Berklee and AI, because that's all over the social algorithm right now with Suno. We could also talk about being stuck in a rut, sketchbooks, and a few other things. So, AI. The topic I've tried to avoid talking about on this platform for a while because there's just so much out there to talk about. The most common question I get with AI is from people not in the industry asking if AI is going to take my job. Now, I think as a film composer, we're a little luckier than like the library musicians, but even they are pretty safe for a bit. Film composers, besides just having to make like a 1 minute long track, we usually have to make music that is 2 hours in length and a consistent theme, consistent identity. We have to have specific timings in the music. In order to prompt something that big and that complex, it would be insane. And to get quality out of it, just really tough. Film is 50% sound, if that at a minimum, at least. So good music and a high polish without all these like weird artifacts that you get in AI is really essential because audience pick up on it. I always say bad visuals are an aesthetic, but bad sound will ruin your movie. And AI is interesting because we have no idea how big and how far it's going to go. You have the AI companies who sort of position themselves as this thing is going to take over the world and be just this massive conglomerate of the future. There's no jobs, there's no income, it is just all AI. Then you have the people who say AI isn't as powerful as it is, and what we use AI for isn't actually AI. And I'm sure there's somewhere in the middle is the kind of where it's going to be. I don't think AI is going away, but I don't think the current model of AI is going to last. This goes down a whole rabbit hole of where my thoughts are. I think these AI companies are eventually going to become more decentralized, almost like cryptocurrency, where it's like folding at home, like that sort of thing, where your computers at home, you can contribute to this network of an AI. And depending on how many people are using the same AI, it decentralizes the data centers to people's homes and can make them more powerful, less powerful, etc. And you'll get some sort of cryptocurrency based on it. But I don't know. These are just kind of how I feel AI is going to go. I think having it centralized in data centers for companies is going to just be fruitless. It's going to be something that we realize we've reached a peak with, and we need to open it up to people to contribute. The other thing with this, though, is the whole copyright issue and the whole just stealing of art and that whole thing. Obviously, AI is stealing. There's no doubt about that. But what's interesting is people are starting to poison pill AI, and AI is starting to eat its own tail. So when AI first came out, it had just human content to really feed on, but AI is creating more AI content that is training AI in, and we're ending up in almost like a dead internet kind of theory, which means there's a conspiracy theory that like 90% of the people on the internet are actually bots you're engaging with. And more, that's starting to become more of a reality. And you start to see people breaking away from the internet and breaking away from their screens and doing more and more in-person events. Like run clubs are becoming a big thing. Health awareness, just getting out and doing things in person rather than online, connecting with people. Now, again, I don't think AI is going away, and it sucks, and you have to grapple with that. But I think it's going to be more in control. Right now, it's a very much a wild, wild west, like the early days of the internet were. But who knows what this means down the line with regulations, legislation, how artists combat it, how we kind of run it through the kind of process. I think we see people like Angine de Fontaine, the microtonal guys, and like doing like weird stuff that are so human and so out there that AI can't replicate it. So it might be a good push to kind of start breaking up the slop that content and music and art has become. Force people to be original, because if you're not original, AI will replace you. It is a threat to all industries, not just music and art. But I think as film composers, we have a special place to have this understanding of art that AI can't get there, at least not yet. It's a big rabbit hole. Now, the Berklee AI thing is a very tough situation, both from a PR standpoint, but also a student standpoint. On one hand, I think that Berklee students should be aware of AI because, you hear in Nashville, people are just producing all their demos with AI and going to producers and having a much bigger vision of what their demo is going to sound like versus, hey, I did it myself in GarageBand. On the other hand, it feels kind of cheap to be paying like $100,000 a year to learn how to make prompts in AI. Now, it is an elective, but I feel the announcement and the rollout of it could have been better. And I also feel like it's one of those things where there's so many ethical qualms around it that it makes it hard, whatever Berklee does, to do it in a way that's right and acceptable and puts them in a very challenging position. The students that want to use AI are going to use AI anyway. So, maybe having a course on the ethics of AI and how to use AI as an artist. I feel weird saying that, but versus, let's prompt an AI song. It's a complicated issue, and I'm very curious to see how it goes. I've taken classes with Bandcamp. I have my thoughts on that. My thoughts shall remain hidden for now. But Berklee has been somewhat good at addressing things like this, at least in the film department. I had a songwriting teacher tell me that the best thing you can do is just plagiarize a song because if you're lucky, the song will be a hit. If you get sued, it's just good marketing for you. And, you'd rather have the streams than the money anyway. Get your name out there, and then your next song will be bigger. So I know stealing is very much a part of the art form, and it's acceptable in some circles. I mean, you could see me thinking as I'm saying things, and I'm not sure how I feel about all this AI stuff, and I was hoping that kind of talking to the camera would help. It's made it more confusing. Oh boy. So anyway, I want to kind of move into just general creativity. One thing that I've kind of been feeling personally, and I know a lot of people tend to get this way, is that I'm stuck in a rut. And being stuck in a rut sucks. You feel like you're doing the same thing every day, and you feel like you're just churning out stuff. And even if you're making cool shit, it's very much exhausting. You're watching things build, you're watching the progress, but at the same time, it feels like it's not novel anymore. It's not interesting. And for me, that's really tough. I struggle with keeping things interesting and staying motivated as soon as it's not interesting. I have started trying to be more rigid on a system, on a schedule, to be consistent, to start putting out work on a way that is more based on a calendar than based on a whim. It's something I've probably struggled with forever. And my response has also been doing much more outside of music than just doing in music. Like right now I'm training for an event that's a 32-mile walk around Manhattan. It's an ultra. So I drove to Philadelphia a few hours away on Tuesday at 6 in the morning and walked 23 miles just to kind of experience a new city, try new things, have my first cheesesteak, see some friends out there. It's something I normally wouldn't do, but it kind of helped break that like baseline level of I'm stuck. I don't feel like things are interesting and new. I'm trying to go out once a week hiking or exploring a new part of town, a new city, just something to get these new experiences. Because I think an artist is not just about what you put out, but how you take things in. And for me, new experiences, new ideas, being exposed to new people, new places, new things is really what drives me creatively and keeps me locked out of that, hey, I'm stuck in the bed, I wake up, I'll lay here for 12 hours, go to sleep kind of thing. Excuse me. And if I don't stay on top of this, and I don't stay on top of my nutrition, I don't stay on top of my workouts, I go insane. And I don't mean like crazy, I mean like I do not get out of bed. I get very depressed very quickly, so I'm very on top of these things. And I think as artists, that's something that helps keep us inspired. Read new books, go see new movies, check out new music, go to new cities, try new foods, try new drinks, meet new people, talk to new people. Try a new activity, try new art forms. There's so much you can do as an artist to really just grow who you are as a person. And as you grow as a person, you'll find that you're also growing as an artist. That's not to say your technique is developing, but your perspective and your ideas are. I want to also talk about sketchbooks. I've been trying to talk about sketchbooks for a while because I don't think composers take sketchbooks seriously enough. You talk to any visual artist, they're always carrying a sketchbook with them. They're always doodling, drawing, trying out things. When they're bored, they're writing, they're drawing, they're testing out things. They're drawing me, they're drawing the synth in front of me. They're trying everything they see, they're imagining things, they are sketching. Composers don't do that. Obviously it's harder in public if you don't know how to write music just with a pen and paper, nothing around you. But even so, like, composers should write daily. Make a little sketch. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a little doodle. Musical doodles. Keep a folder of ideas. Try things. Experiment. I think treating your music more like a series of experiments versus a series of compositions is a great mindset to really push you out of your comfort zone and try new things. Lately, I've been experimenting with a bit of a theremin rig for live scoring. I'm probably going to do a live stream on this later this week or next week. But I have these instruments I've built. I have a theremin. I have a guitar rig, as you can see in the video. I have my pedal board right here. And I want to do ambient soundscapes and horror music for silent films live using this crazy complex setup with video projection over me and the theremin and running it through my Eurorack and trying all these interesting effects and ideas. But it's something every time I do these weird jams and experiments, I find new techniques I can use in my film scores. It lets me push the boundaries, my creative boundaries, and then when I'm working on something, I can just recall it. I try to write a small 30-second thing a day, sometimes more, sometimes less, but be open to sketching and experimenting and collaborations. I mean, collaborations are something I don't think artists do enough, and I don't think artists who are trying to make money doing music do nearly as much as they should. Collaborations are such a great way to find a new audience, explore new ideas, do something cool just for the sake of doing something cool and fun, meet new people, work with new people, find new people to work with. And when you collaborate with people, it doesn't have to just be musicians. It could be artists, painters, dancers, filmmakers. When you collaborate without the expectation of money and you're just both focused on doing something really cool, like some really cool magic happens there. You're not working for someone else's project. You're both working on this project together. So try not to charge on a collaboration. That's something I've noticed a lot of amateur filmmakers are trying to do. Like, you don't need to charge for everything. If someone's coming to you to commission you for their work and you're writing music in their vision, yeah, charge. But if you guys are coming together as equals to make something really cool together, don't charge. Now, pay your players and stuff if you need, and you can find a budget that works for you. You could both contribute. But at the end of the day, it's your project, and you guys are working together on it. And I think even in terms of like doing cool stuff, that's the best way to grow as an artist, best way to grow on social media, best way to just build your following, because your vision is so much more important as a composer than the people who hire you to do their vision. The more you know who your vision is, the more likely you'll get hired for your vision versus, hey, we just needed a composer and you were there. So that's really just my rant for today. I don't have any other topics, looking at my notes over here, that I really want to get into. But thank you for listening to A Cup of Joe. I have a Discord server linked in the show notes below. If you know anyone in the music industry, composer, music editor, orchestrator, arranger, who you think would be interesting for this podcast, let me know. I want to interview as many people as I can, and I'm looking forward to the next one.